Hello everyone and welcome to the DanOCan YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. I hope you'll check us out and see what we offer. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for continuing to come back and watch more of our videos. I am in French Lick, Indiana, in the French Lick Springs Hotel Resort Casino. And that's not the focus of this video though. I'm getting ready to head out on the road and I'm gonna go visit a place that has been on my radar for probably 15 or 18 years. And I'm finally gonna get to go see it today, but we've got a couple hours of driving to do before that, so let's get on the road. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I shouldn't say always, but I often develop an emotional attachment to my hotel rooms. And I'm always a little sad when it's time to leave. And this has been such a great hotel that I really don't want to leave, because I'm sure the next places won't be nearly as nice. But there's adventuring to do. Let you get a look at things from the outside here. Like I said, beautiful hotel. Parts of it date back to the late 1800s. My wing was built in the 20s. So my kind of place. Not the sort of place I can afford, but my kind of place nonetheless. And we appear to have a great day for traveling. Unlike the night I checked in, it's not pouring rain. So that's fantastic. Can actually see where I'm going today. That drive out to the hotel from Louisville was a little bit sketchy, given dark roads, rental car that's probably not got the best tires, and not knowing where I was going. So had another great breakfast of biscuits and gravy and sausage links and scrambled eggs. Now we gotta see if I can find the rental car, because I haven't actually seen it in the daylight. So I think I remember where I parked. And spoiler alert, after a little bit of wandering, I haven't found it yet. Still searching, not panicking yet. The night I came in, I had been on the road for about 20 hours. I was tired. Like I said, it was dark, it was raining, I wasn't paying attention. I know I'm out here somewhere, or at least I was. I was parked between two giant dually trucks. Of course, they've moved on. We'll find it, we'll find it. So with the rental car found and me securely inside of it, it's time to head out. Now, my destination is Moonshine, Illinois. And I'll tell you more about why I'm heading to Moonshine, Illinois, aside from the name, a little bit later. But for now, I want to start driving. And I did discover that I didn't know when I first got in the car, is that it actually does have Android Auto if I plug into the USB. And as always, when I'm navigating on these type of fun road trips, avoid toll roads, avoid freeways. Because you will remember one of our mottos here on the channel is that the interstate is for suckers. All right, let's roll. First real settlement that I've come across, this is Shoals, Indiana. Looks like some interesting buildings here. The Eagles Lodge. This one here on the right's very interesting. Obviously it was boarded up and abandoned. Train tracks run right through the middle of town. Very small town, Indiana. Love it. Just pulled over for a second here in Montgomery, Indiana. Take a look at this church. You know, the church is a landmark in the community when the road that runs in front of it is called Church Street. So obviously either the town grew up around the church, or the church was such a landmark in town they decided to rename the street at some point. Here we go into Wheatland, Indiana. Looks like an interesting brick building here on the left side. Ooh, and one on the right side with a ghost sign. Figure this is a good point to get out, stretch the legs, and check out some of these buildings a little closer. Apparently this is the Wheatland Town Hall. Says they're open. But yeah, this ghost sign, 7-Up, pretty incredible. Some great detail on the building here. Lower half has, been the victim of a bad renovation. But the upper half still looks pretty cool. Based on the signs in the window, looks like it's for sale. There's the entrances in the back. Looks like it was probably apartments upstairs. And some vestiges of Christmas still showing here in the park. Still has your traditional water tower. And while we've got a gap in traffic, let's take a walk down Main Street here and see what we can see. Looks like there's a couple more neat brick buildings or stone buildings. This one here for sure. And it looks like there was something in this lot at one time that's gone. Post office, 1958. Oh, and there was something here. Up until very recently. Looks like there was a fire. Took out a building. Reminder of why always capture what you can, because you never know when it's going to be gone. It's another unique building. Very narrow and tall. So I am going to get back on the road here. Can't take too long in every little town. But this one had enough things that I felt I should pull over and get a little more look at it. But I have to be in Moonshine by 12:30. And there's a very specific reason for that, which again, I'll share later on. Alright, so while I've got a little bit of boring stretch here of divided highway, let me give you the background and what led to this trip. Back in, I believe it was 2008, maybe 2007, I don't remember the exact year and I'm too lazy to look it up. I was at a geocaching event in Washington State up in the Pacific Northwest near Seattle. And I met a guy there who was talking about unique places he had visited and things. And he asked me if I had ever heard of a place called Moonshine, Illinois. And of course, my answer was no. And in fact, I've talked to multiple people who live in Illinois who have never heard of it. But he says, there is a place, he's like, it's in the middle of nowhere called Moonshine, Illinois. He's like, the town, if you will, has a population of 2 people, and it's basically one general store from the early 1900s. And he says they serve the best hamburger he had ever had in the United States. So that's a pretty big claim, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I said then and there I was going to track it down. Now, it's been on my radar for a long time. It's had a pin in my Google Maps for as long as I can remember. And when I had to go on a work trip to French Lick, I realized it was only about a 2-hour drive to get to Moonshine, Illinois, and I was going to have access to a rental car. So that's how this all came to be. Sorry, I got a little distracted there. I saw a service station on the side of the road, and I'm just reaching the point in the trip where I'm down to about half a tank of fuel and a full bladder. So one of those things where I was just kind of judging to see if I wanted to stop or not. But the other part of the story is I was going to tell you why I have to be there for 12:30. And that's because the Moonshine General Store is only open very specific hours. And if I've got my information from the internet correct, it's basically Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the grill, it's very specific about this, the grill, if you want a hamburger, shuts down at 12:30 sharp. So if you're not there by 12:30, you miss out on your chance to enjoy a Moonburger. Another thing that comes to mind, and I'll try and make it quick so that this isn't a pure talking head video, is apparently Moonshine is really popular with the motorbike crowd. And there's, I think it's an annual run or convention or whatever you want to call it of motorcyclists who gather in Moonshine for hamburgers. And the Moonshine Run is what I believe it's called, and it started, I'm going to say 7-8 years ago. I can look it up in more detail later. But it has grown, and they've had hundreds of motorbike drivers, motorcyclists, show up. And they served, over that course of like that 4 hours that they're open, I want to say it was like 1,500 burgers at one point, but again, I'll look up the details when I stop. So, you know, the luck of the draw, I was looking for a place to pull over to the side of the road, saw this neat little road, dirt road coming off the highway, and I thought, that looks kind of cool. I'm like, that'd be a great place for a geocache. Reached down, looked at the GPS, sure enough, there it was. Corner of 1200 West and Levy Road. Found a cache. No real spoilers, it's at the base of the stop sign. Where else could it be out here? I think according to the GPS, I'm about 20 minutes or half an hour away from Moonshine. So we're getting closer. And I'm still not sure with the time zones. I think when I checked earlier, I gain an hour going from French Lick to Moonshine, because French Lick is in part of Indiana that adheres to the Eastern time zone, whereas Moonshine is in Illinois, which is in the Central time zone. So I'm hoping that works in my favor, but I don't actually know for sure what time it is. I know what time My phone says it is, which I'm taking to be the correct one, but we'll find out as long as I'm there by 12:30. Well, that was very apropos timing, talking about not sure what time zone I'm in and things like that. I must have just been right on the cusp of the Indiana-Illinois state line, because no sooner than like 3 minutes after that last video segment I recorded there, GPS and cell phone both flipped back an hour. So now it's only about 10:38 in the morning. So suddenly I've got lots of time. I've got a good almost 2 hours before the grill closes. And it says I'm still about 20 minutes away. So I'm probably going to get there right around 11 o'clock. And I held back a little bit on the biscuits and gravy this morning, so I'm sure I can eat a hamburger. We're definitely back on a more DanOCan style road here. No more divided highway. And lots of countryside. All right, just another quick little stop. This is Annapolis, Illinois, as you can tell from the little post office behind me. But what really caught my attention is what's across the road. Just a tiny little false fronted building there. Definitely could use a coat of paint underneath the vinyl siding in the front. I'll bet it used to have some kind of general store name or something that's been covered over. And then as I got out of the car, I noticed another neat building just about a block down that we'll go take a look at. So this one here is the Annapolis Garage. Clearly an old 1930s style gas station. Very cool, very cool. And while I'm detouring around town, classic water tower.
Turn left on East 2005th Avenue.
Some interesting
Then turn left on North 700th
old
Street.
homes.
Turn left on East 2005th Avenue.
And things just continue to get more and more rural as now we've moved on to roads that, while still paved, aren't even worth painting lines on. So starting to get a little excited about this. Okay, so I'm not there yet, but I found a geocache, or I saw a geocache. I didn't actually stop to look for it, called the Old Buckner Store. And boy, this is kind of cool. Now, the cache page didn't have any information about the history of the store, but I do know I saw a couple, or there was a place I think just north of here that had Buckner on the mailbox. So obviously it's a family that's gone back in this area for a long time, and this was a general store back in its day. Pretty cool building. And the farmhouse here next to it is pretty cool too. Very neat place. A lot of history sitting right there, I'm sure. But anyway, on the way to Moonshine. Few last twists and turns, and the store should be up here on the right if I've got my directions correct. And we're here. So there we go. A few other cars in the parking lot. Population 2. I decided to park across the road so I could get some pictures without my car in the way. There's the Moonburger. A little bit closer look at the store. It's nice to finally make it.
Yeah.
It's been 15 years since I first heard of this place. That's been a while, so it's nice to finally get here and see it. That's undoubtedly true. All right, so I got it, and you know, you can see there's lots of places to eat out here outside, and it's about 38 degrees Fahrenheit, which doesn't feel that bad because there's no wind right now. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and eating this in the shadow of the Moonshine store. So just to show you how foggy my memory can be, I did look it up. It was 2010 when I was at that geocaching event where I first heard about the famous Moonburger. So this is an event that's only been 13 years in the making, not 15 like I said before. They got everything inside there at a table that you want, your ketchup, your mustard, tomatoes, onions, pickles, all sorts of sauces. So I loaded this sucker up. Let's see how good it finally is after 13 years. That is a damn fine burger. That is great. So now that I've had my burger and I don't think I got any spilled on me, I can look up some of the facts here to talk about some of the things I mentioned on the drive up. So like I said, store was built in 1912. It was in 1982 that Helen and Roy Tuttle took it over and made it into a restaurant. And it was during the 2017 Terry Hammond Memorial Moonshine Run that they set their record of 3,362 hamburgers. And for a place that's only open from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m., that's pretty freaking incredible. Just kind of checking out the grounds. I learned from the people inside that the dog's name, the Moonshine Welcoming Committee, the dog's name is Willie. So you got to meet Willie the dog and see Moonshine, Illinois. And you know, I'm sure after so much European content that a lot of you who have been longtime viewers of the channel are happy to see me back doing our normal type stuff. A little bit more of the obscure, offbeat Americana Canadiana. Hey, Willie. Okay, I gotta go, buddy. All right. I gotta go. But we'll see you later, okay? I don't know when. But we'll see you later. This is great. There has been a steady stream of people coming and going since I got here. I timed it really nice. I was the only one in the store at the time, so I could take some nice pictures inside. But I'm so glad to see this place is doing well. That, you know, it's great that even in 2024, a 112-year-old place can keep going. I know it hasn't been a restaurant that entire time, but you get what I mean. So that's going to wrap things up for this video. Thank you for coming with me all the way from French Lick to Moonshine. And I'm going to give you a sneak preview of what's coming up in the next one. from Moonshine, Illinois, DanOCan, out.